Do you have any advice about bullying?
Wow. Yeah. Well, part of the advice I'd give is to be willing to talk about it. So I think you're leading the way on that. Thank you for raising the question. I had experiences with bullying when I was growing up. And everybody who's different can be bullied. And the secret is everybody's different in some way. And when somebody's bullying you, they're making you feel alone sometimes, right? They're making you feel like you're the only one in that situation. And they're building you down. They're breaking you down. And it's tough. It makes you feel angry. It makes you feel worse. And it can kind of bring out the worst in you too, right? That's probably the worst thing about bullying. In fact, a lot of how some bullies are made is that they were bullied themselves or somebody hurt them and they don't know how to deal with it. And they wind up turning it around and visiting that same kind of pain on somebody else. And that could be something that you've encountered if you've experienced bullying. So the first thing you got to know is you have nothing to be ashamed of. And the second part, and this is a much harder part to remember, is that the person who's bullying you probably has something a little broken in them. And it's part of why they're trying to get your attention. That they want to get a response out of you. They want to kind of control a situation because something else in their life isn't going well. And they don't feel they have control in a bigger way. Yeah, it sounds familiar, yeah. I think it really matters that we have a president who doesn't show that kind of behavior. It's one of the reasons I'm running for president. So the hard part, if you really want to just pop the balloon, just take all the air out of that bullying, is turn to a bully and ask if they're okay. And they won't know what to do with you. To remember that you're bigger than they are, that you have a bigger heart, and to try to find a way to show that. And to remember that there's a person in there too. Probably a person who's been hurt in some way, which is why they're turning around and hurting you. And it takes all the discipline in the world to do it, because sometimes you just want to, you just want to give it right back, right? The same as it's coming to you. But you have control. You have control over whether that bully makes you into a worse version of yourself or a better version of yourself. And so the best thing you can do to show them, and while you're at it, well, I'll come to this in a second, but the best thing you can do to show them and push them away is to not let them have that power over you. But the other thing I want you to know is that when you're being bullied, somebody else is watching, and they don't know what to do. Maybe they'll laugh along with the bully because they're nervous and they're afraid too. And so when you show that it doesn't get to you, when you show that you got the bigger heart, there are people who you won't even realize are going to follow your lead. And you ought to think of yourself as a leader, especially in that moment when somebody's trying to break you down. And you could make a whole bunch of people's lives better as you go. So thanks for raising that.